As a rideshare driver, whether driving for Uber or Lyft, many of us know that at any given time, a nefarious character might attempt to victimize us during the course of the day. Nevertheless, there are some cases, such as the one today, that may leave some stating, "You brought this on yourself." What up, folks? Once again, it is your boy Tim with another ride sharing video. Now, this one comes from an article titled "Two in Custody After Uber Driver Carjacked at Gunpoint in the City of Pittsburgh." Now, giving you the basic details, according to the Pittsburgh Public Safety, which is basically the police, the driver picked up two men a little after 2 a.m. last Thursday on July 20th. So the obvious red flag, what do we say in all of our videos? Nothing good ever happens after midnight. So if you're out taking trips at 2 o'clock in the morning, particularly two guys get in your car, two men at 2 a.m., understand the statistical probability of some bad shit happening goes up. Two guys sitting behind you, you're basically driving a vehicle, you're tactically disadvantaged, a hell of a lot of shit can go wrong. So understand at 2 a.m., two men, things are already not looking in your favor. But a lot of us do pick up guys, dudes coming from clubs, things like that all the time. But understand, it is in the wee hours of the morning when a lot of bad stuff happens. Continuing the story, now, this guy actually drove the passengers all the way to their destination before he was forced out of the vehicle, according to authorities. But here are the details, and this one where you should hear the story to the point where it'll lead you to say, you might have brought this shit on yourself. According to the criminal complaint, the victim told police the suspects were wearing all black with ski masks. And one of them pulled out a gun from the back seat and ordered the victim to get out. So he done drove two men dressed in black with ski masks on to their destination. You picked up two men at 2 a.m. dressed in all black with ski masks on. What the hell they're going to? And I'm on my way to rob somebody party or something like that? Who the hell would put anybody like that in their car? That's about as big of a red flag as you can ever encounter. The COVID era, for the most part, has subsided. There is no reason at all for somebody dressed in all black, wearing ski masks, to be allowed in any Uber or Lyft vehicle. Nevertheless, this guy let them in and he carjacked their ass. Also, I want to point something else out. I talk about in many videos how I don't believe Uber or Lyft gives a damn about your safety. Many drivers have the same sentiment. Similar to the fact that they make us drivers go through background checks and they don't do a damn thing to the passengers. They make us use our face on our profile pictures. They don't often do that to the passengers. I want to talk about the facial recognition software. When you log into the Uber app, it makes you scan your face so it knows it's you and all of that bullshit. Why not make the passengers do that? If someone wanted to do something such as carjack an Uber driver, rob an Uber driver, steal a phone, force you to go to an ATM, take your cash app, all of the shit they normally do to us, why not steal a phone from someone you know has the Uber app on it, use their phone, request a ride, and then rob the guy? That happens. I'm giving you this scenario because I've done stories where that's exactly what happens. A bad actor steals a phone from someone else and hails an Uber. That way there's no way to trace that Uber back to the actual owner of that account. So the point I'm making is the facial recognition software. Anyone hailing a ride on Uber or Lyft, before they can request a trip, they should have to use that facial recognition software. And only the owner of that account should be able to request a trip. And if you require the facial recognition software, it guarantees that anytime a trip is requested, at the very least, the owner of that account was involved. Okay, maybe there's a gun to their head or whatever the case may be. We get it. But nevertheless, they were involved in it. That would eliminate any passenger deliberately cooperating with someone coming to rob, steal, kill, whatever the hell they want to do to us, and saying, well, I didn't do it. My phone got stolen. Well, if you had to use the facial recognition software, we know at the very least your nose, mouth, and ears were involved in hailing this trip. You got some explaining to do. So I strongly believe that would be an added level of security if anyone requesting a ride had to stare into their phone and make sure the facial recognition software verified who they were. Obviously, that would eliminate gift cards and being able to dial an 800 number to request a trip, something that many Uber and Lyft drivers do not want shit to do with anyway, because they are huge safety risks. Nevertheless, in continuing the story, Pittsburgh Public Safety Police pursued the vehicle in Penn Hills, where it went up on a curb and crashed into a light pole. Now, this story has no happy ending, obviously. Fortunately, it appears the driver was totally unharmed because the driver is the one that got out of the car, called 911. Police ended up locating the car, and that's where this pursuit happened. But as you hear, the vehicle went up on a curb, crashed into a light pole. They did apprehend both suspects. We'll talk about that in a minute. But the unfortunate situation here, once again, is a rideshare driver that has lost his ability to earn income, in addition to any mental health issues he may be dealing with, stemming from the fact that two dudes put a gun in his head and took his car off of him. But at the very least, after crashing his car into a light pole, he's going to have to come up with $1,000 or a $2,500 deductible if he's a Lyft driver. As we say all the time, most rideshare drivers do not have $2,500 laying around to pay a fucking deductible. So as a result, drivers that are in this situation might be completely out of a method of earning income. That car may be a total loss, whereas it may have some serious damage. And if the driver cannot come up with that $2,500, now this is Uber, but if it was Lyft and that driver can't come up with that $2,500, that car's going to sit around somewhere wrecked for an indefinite period of time. Uber is a little bit less on the deductible, but once again, it's still a deductible that driver is never going to get back. So even though he was unharmed and the suspects were apprehended, he is going to be out of at least $1,000, $1,500 or more, and all of the lost time in which he's not earning wages. I mean, to get a vehicle repaired after an accident is easily going to take a couple weeks depending on how much damage, or longer. So this driver is at a significant loss. $1,500 deductible or whatever the hell it is, plus many days of downtime while they decide if they want to replace the vehicle, repair the vehicle, or whatever happened. This is why I keep suggesting that Uber and Lyft should have some type of insurance or some type of compensation program that steps in and aids drivers that have lost their vehicle and ability to earn. My heart goes out to you full-time drivers. Like I make it clear, I drive off and on part-time. So I have a day job. But for folks who are doing this as a full-time source of income, something like this is devastating. Completely eradicates any income earning potential for that person. This is the kind of shit that could make somebody homeless. If they're paying their rent and all of that with the money they're making from ride sharing, this could make them homeless because he's not going to be driving for a few weeks easy. Plus, he's going to be down the cost of a deductible. So he's going to lose some big money involved in this. In the end, here is what is really awful about this story. The two individuals that committed this carjacking, one was 19 and the other one was so damn young, they don't even tell you his name. The 19-year-old was Tyrese Overson. Now, according to authorities, one of these individuals, I believe it was the 16-year-old, already had a fucking ankle monitor on his leg. Cut the ankle monitor off and went out and carjacked somebody. So he's already committed a crime to the point where they already got him under surveillance because he's already a bad guy. But they were kind enough not to lock his ass up and let him at least be at home with an ankle monitor on. And here he is at the crib cutting shit off to go out and commit additional felonies. Now, obviously, the authorities in Pennsylvania have stated that they're going to charge both of these men as adults, and they rightfully should. If this 16-year-old, whatever the hell the max is, he should come close to that. The idea that you would go out and actually carjack someone after cutting off an ankle monitor, knowing there's a warrant for your ass, you need to be made a fucking example of. Nevertheless, I wanted to run this by you. Have you ever had somebody try to get in your car with a mask on in the post-COVID era? 2 gentlemen dressed in black at 2 a.m. Would you let somebody like that in your shit? Hell no, not on this side. But let your boy know in the comments. As always, subscribe to the damn channel. See you in the next video.